And so Representative Berg, you are up. And as you make your way up, Representative Berg moves House File 1216 to bring that before the committee. So we've got that motion being made on your behalf. And then once you settle in, I have testifiers come on up. And then please, when you are ready, you can begin presenting your bill.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm pleased to present House File 1216 to support an excellent apprenticeship readiness program called Building Strong Communities. I carry this bill every year. It is my honor. And I'd like to also thank my co-author, Representative Zalesnikar, for her partnership. As this committee knows, Minnesota's union apprenticeship programs are the gold standard for structured earn-while-you-learn training with an outstanding track record of getting people into careers in the trades. Collectively, the trades and their employers spend $40 million on these programs without public funding. Building Strong Communities is a program created to help feed people into that pipeline who may not know about it or may not be prepared to enter it. Like many other industries in construction, it's an advantage to have a family member in the trades. If your dad or uncle is in the trades, for instance, you're much more likely to have experience using hand tools, climbing the ladder, reading a tape measure, and understanding that there's a path to a great career. The goal of Building Strong Communities is to help people who don't have that background get that experience, understand the basics of the industry, and figure out how to get into apprenticeship programs. Building Strong Communities serves people from all backgrounds, but is focused on those people who don't have a history in the construction industry in their families. We know that this is often true for people of color and women, so that is one focus of the program. Building Strong Communities also specifically reaches out to military veterans to help them find a home in the trades. In short, Mr. Chair, this program puts people from a disadvantaged background on a path to a career, a great career that offers family-sustaining wages with health care, benefits, and a secure retirement. With that, I'm more excited for you all to hear from the testifiers we have today.
Okay, thank you. And so if you can please identify yourself, first testifier, then proceed with your testimony.
Thank you. My name is Rick Mardigan. I am a Navy veteran, retired Local 1 Minnesota, North Dakota tile layer, and now honored to serve as Building Strong Communities Executive Director. I'm here to share the impact and success of Building Strong Communities, a 12-week statewide apprenticeship readiness program designed to introduce and prepare Minnesotans for a career in the building and construction trades. BSC is just not a workforce program, it's a pathway to lifelong careers in the skilled trades. With training conducted online and hands-on in the Twin Cities, Rochester, Mankato, Duluth Iron Range areas, and greater Minnesota, BSC provides Minnesotans with a direct connection to registered apprenticeship programs, ensuring that participants enter the industry prepared and confident. We achieve this by working hand in hand with construction industry professionals, registered apprenticeship programs, post-secondary institutions, community organizations, project owners, and municipalities. Our participants receive OSHA 10 safety training, foundational construction curriculum, including math curriculum, and mentorship through our partner with Twin Cities Rise. Our partners, North Hennepin Community College, delivers 8 weeks of virtual classroom training, while the trades provide up to 6 weeks of hands-on training, giving participants both technical skills and the confidence needed to make an informed decision about a career choice and be successful. Additionally, each participant is assigned a program advocate at the beginning of the program and 1 year post-placement to ensure that their path in this industry is successful. Graduates earn 4 credits, 4 college credits, and are prepared to enter the workforce as the construction season begins. The training is free to each of the individuals. BSC's success is reflected in our numbers. Enrollment is nearly tripled from 43 participants in 2022 to 127 in 2025. Completion rates are strong with a program best ever last year of 105 graduates. Career job placement is significant with a 3-year total of 134 people. This year, 127 participants enrolled are in their 6th week of training. BSC also extends its impact beyond adults through our youth component and youth career exploration. In partnership with Construct Tomorrow, founded in 2013 to bring awareness to high school students about their remarkable post-secondary career options in the building construction trades industry. Since its launch in 2013, Construct Tomorrow has connected with over 75,000 high school students from more than 500 schools across Minnesota with a hands-on trade experience and one-on-one mentorship. This past year alone, on my sheet it says 5,200, but with last year's event in the Duluth area, over 6,000 students participated in Construct Tomorrow, in 10 Construct Tomorrow events each year, and this year. Many walking away with a newfound awareness that a construction apprenticeship is an accessible, viable, and rewarding secondary option. As we continue to introduce and expand opportunities in Minnesota's construction industry, the support for this program is vital in ensuring that BSC continues to provide high-quality, hands-on training that strengthens our workforce and builds the next generation of skilled trades professionals who contribute daily to their communities. Thank you for your time and support. And today I brought with 3 additional testifiers, registered apprentices who will provide some testimony.
Okay,
Mr.
please.
Keelan Newman, he is a heat and frost insulator, 2nd year, and 10-year Army reservist. Dorlisa Squires, operating engineer's 1st year apprentice, and Natalie Pilring, also an operating engineer, 1st year apprentice.
Okay, let's begin with Mr. Newman. If you can please identify yourself and proceed.
Hi, my name is Keelan Newman. Just nice to meet you, members of the chair and committee. Appreciate you guys having me here today. I'm simply just taking time out of my day to support Rick and his program. A little about me is I have been in the U.S. Army Reserves for over 10 years now, serving as a psychological operations specialist, and I am also a combat production specialist for the Army. I found the opportunity kind of seeking it out. A little about me, I guess, to give reference to it, is I was living in the Rochester part of the state. I was currently going through a divorce at the time that landed me, unfortunately, kind of isolated and alone. My family had moved all out of the state. I was seeking to kind of get out of that area and to get kind of more centralized back into the Twin Cities area, so I had more opportunity. If you've been down to the Rochester area, wages are a lot lower, and unless you're working in the medical industry, you're just not really seeing too many opportunities. During that too, in that area, the other opportunities are going to be construction. Well, if you've had the opportunity to look on Indeeds or had the opportunity to go through a lot of these different things, there's just not opportunity for work, more or less connections. You reach out to a lot of these contractors, a lot of these unions, and they're going to be, who's your dad? There's a lot of nepotism. There's a lot of those things. So personally for me, I'm the son of 2 journeymen. I'm a 3rd generation insulator. My dad was an insulator. My grandpa was an insulator. And I knew that for me, the only opportunity was to get back to the cities. And I said, okay, well, maybe this is my opportunity to reach out to them. But that wasn't the case. A lot of these unions are backed up. There are, people sitting and waiting on the bench, young kids coming out of high school, people who've been waiting a couple of years permitting. So for me, it felt like there was no opportunity. And in that kind of conversation I had with some of the unions, I was referred to Building Strong Communities. They said, hey, little about me, what are you? I said, I'm a veteran. I don't necessarily pride myself on focus on what the color of my skin is, just because I've been kind of a person who's never taken any handouts in life. I don't really care to, and I don't care to use this as a opportunity to get ahead of anyone in this world. But they did say, hey, you are a veteran, you are a person, you are very committed, you should consider looking into this program. And I said, all right, I will. And they were also referring me to a couple other different apprenticeship programs at the time. But Rick's program was the first to get back to me, and it was very prompt. For me, that showed there was a level of commitment that the other programs weren't just willing to give. Rick was there to guide me. He gave me an opportunity. He quickly had an interview with me, seeing where my mind space, my head space. He didn't just simply, oh, you're in the program, just because your merit or your accreditation. It was, hey, who are you as an individual, and is this going to be the right fit for you? With that opportunity, I really wanted to seek this out. So I got in, I took his classes. He made it very accessible for me. At the time I was homeless, because everybody's different, not everyone gets there, homeless for whatever reason it may be. Mine just happened to be because of my relationship at the time, and I needed income. And so his class allowed me to do it on my phone, on my iPad. At the time, I would sleep up at my unit. Unfortunately, I would sleep in a cage at my Army unit, take showers at my unit. I would attend classes in my truck or a local library, wherever I needed to just get the opportunity to make sure I attended his class, because there was a level of discipline requirement that was required of him. He said, hey, I need you to be here. You cannot miss this. These unions, and I knew that growing up with my father, that they require a lot of discipline and time out of your day. These aren't just programs that are simply guide you along. In that time, his class provided me a level of reference that I hadn't known. I've never been trained for in my life. I've been taking plenty of classes. I've gone to college. I can be pretentious about all the things I've done in the military and all the places I've been around the world. But his class also provided a lesson on emotional EQ. How do we present ourselves when we're in a workplace, an environment like construction? You are going to get a plethora of different personalities. This isn't an easy field. And how are you going to respond to your employer or other employers who may not have the same political beliefs as you, or may not necessarily see, who have had the opportunity of nepotism, whose dad has worked, and whatnot. So that gave me a robust feeling and a level of like putting me ahead and being ready to get back into this industry.
I might ask you if you could just wrap up maybe in a minute or so, if you
Yeah,
can. Thank you so much.
With that, like I said, it really did do a lot to get me into the position. He gave me the OSHA training and everything I needed to get done. And by the time, I came rolling around, I was light years ready and ahead and being in the industry. Overall, I think that his program can do a lot for minorities, youth, people, anyone, honestly anyone, to get them ready in an industry that honestly lacks workers right now. There's multiple turnarounds. There's multiple places that we just don't have enough people. And so take away from funding like this or helping would, definitely help. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your testimony, and thank you for your service to our country. Appreciate it. And so, Jolissa Squires, please identify yourself and proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and committee. My name is Dorlisa Squires. I am a past graduate of BSc Business Strong Communities, and now I am a proud Union 49er. I'm all nervous, so sorry.
Yeah, no, you're all good. All good.
Before starting the program, I was in the medical field for 20 years, anywhere from a nursing assistant to a TMA, that's a trained medical assistant, and working in hospice. I made medical devices for people with diabetes. After so long, I didn't really get any good benefits or see a long future for that, and plus it's on the mental, it's kind of hard. I was divorced and ended up homeless, and so that took a year of a toll on me. So I had to figure out my life from then. Somebody told me about being in construction. I went online and looked up a couple of programs, and Building Strong Communities was the first one to reach out to me and give me some insight on what they do, how long their program was, and the cost was free. So that helped a lot. Going through the program, they had different field trips, different college people reaching out to you, your advocate. So they had different avenues to help with each individual to make it through this program, and I'm lucky that I did make it through the program. Without the program, I wouldn't be a 49er right now, and so now I have a career, and now I have a placement, I have apartment, a car, and so I'm really grateful for just going through the program.
Good. Thank you so much. And then our final testifier, please identify yourself. Proceed.
Hi, thank you. My name is Natalie Pilrain. I'm a 2024 Building Strong Communities graduate and a first-year apprentice with the Local 49. A little backstory about me. I'm a single mom, and I had my son when I was 17 years old. For me, that meant dropping out of high school to be with my son. I ended up going back to school in the fall of 2023, and that's when I started thinking about what I wanted to do for a career, and my biggest focus was finding a career that would allow me to support my son and I. Through resources at school, I was introduced to a member of the Local 49. I expressed my interest in wanting to become an operator. I knew little about construction, but I wanted to give it a try, and I heard about the benefits and the pay, and I was interested. I was recommended the Building Strong Communities program as a good way to get my foot in the door and educate myself on the career field. I went through I was actually personally introduced to Rick, and I wasn't done with high school at the time. I didn't have my diploma, and that was one of the program requirements, but Rick said that if I could get my diploma by the time the cohort started for the year, that I would be able to participate in the program. And I completed that. I went through the program, the online portion, and moved on to the 4-week training at the Local 49 Training Center. And now at the time, I didn't have extra money lying around for work boots or hotel expenses for going up to the training center, but Building Strong Communities covered those costs for me. And not only did they help me get through financially, but I did not know what I was getting into going into this career field. And through the program, I gained some incredible knowledge. I met some amazing people and got some amazing support to get into this career. I then got placed with a union contractor, and I am about to go into my second year of apprenticeship here. And the opportunities didn't end when I graduated the Building Strong Communities program. I've kept in touch with Rick. He's kept in touch with me. He's always answered any questions I've had. He's showed me incredible support, as have many people from the Building Strong Communities program. And I am so grateful to Rick and everyone from the BSC program for helping me get to this place today.
Thank you for sharing your testimony. Anybody else in the room wish to testify on the bill? Not seeing any, we'll close testimony, and thank you again to the testifiers. And then member questions, discussion that anybody has about the bill. Representative Zalesnikar.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Representative, for this bill. We share a passion for the trades and for apprenticeship programs for students. I was fortunate enough to have health occupations in high school, and programs like this are ones that are easy to support. And the wonderful thing about this program is the $100,000 a year that goes to the Construct Tomorrow, the programs that are listed in here that show all the areas. The area I live in northeastern Minnesota is one of them, and they were there last week at the deck, doing this and exposing students from the entire region to all the trade opportunities. And in order to build strong communities, for our infrastructure, our commercial tax base, and then our residential, we need people in the trades. And so what I appreciated about this program is the ability to expose people, and the unions have shared that with me too, that there's just traditionally, you know what you know. So if you grew up with teachers, you might be a teacher. If you grow up in healthcare, you might be in healthcare. If you grow up on a farm, you might be a farmer. But you might not know the other opportunities that exist for you, and that's what this program's about. This year, the participants are 30% women and 70% men. And of that, it's of every race, it's white people, it's BIPOC people, there's 2 veterans in this year. So it's wonderful to see the opportunities and the success. This program has a success story and is serving the entire state, which is something I like to see, where Greater Minnesota served the suburbs and metro. And that's when we'll have success to getting people exposed. And so I just want to say, thank you. Thank you to our testifiers that came. I'm glad you're thriving. Thank you to the executive director that has created relationships throughout the state to support the trades, for building strong communities, literally statewide, and making sure that we have people trained as people are retiring, and we know that. So I'm excited to see, and I like the fact that it's virtual and hands-on training and gives them a chance to see so many things that people just want to understand and see it. And we're hearing so many things in this committee on initiatives like this, and I think it's a job well done, and I'm happy to see graduates and a growing program and successful employment, and that's what it's all about in workforce and development. So thank you.
Representative Schultz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thanks for bringing this bill, Representative Berg. I appreciate broadly getting a lot of folks across the state into this, and appreciate the statewide approach and our continued work that I know we'll work on this session in that regard. I just had a question actually for Natalie. So could you tell us a little bit about how much you're making and your job today, and exactly what it is that you like about your job?
Ms. Pilrain.
Yes, thank you. So I believe the pay goes up every year. Journeyman scale right now is, someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's around $41 an hour. I certainly made a decent amount of money last year, and that's money I've never seen in my life. So that's incredibly life-changing for me, being able to provide for myself and my son. And I'm sorry, what was your other question?
Representative Schultz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And what is it that you like about your job?
Yes.
Ms. Pilrain.
One of the biggest things, I love working outside. I love moving around, working outside, working in the elements. I never really saw myself working like an office job. I really had no idea what I wanted to do, but the idea of working outside and being able to do that always intrigued me. I guess it's hard to describe. I love the work that we do. I love working construction. I love operating equipment. It's fun for me. I learned every day that I worked last year, and it didn't feel like work for me, so.
Okay, Representative Schultz, anything further?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Natalie. It's exciting, and if you guys weren't watching, you should have seen the smile on her face as she talked about how much money she's making and what it means for her and her family. And again, this is just about making sure that more people across our state have access to this, and certainly I find a lot of commonality in the mission of building strong communities. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a question for Mr. Murtaugh. I think you're the right person to send it to. I know there are other programs as well that work with some of the populations that are referenced in the bill. I guess I'm thinking, I think we heard helmets to hard hats, Chair Baker. I'm not sure if we did in the committee so far. I kind of feel like we did, but anyway, maybe not. But that program, I think there's a grant program, Women in Non-Traditional Occupations, and other. Just sort of how does Building Strong Communities differ or overlap or not with sort of other programs that are out there that are bringing folks from these different groups into construction trades?
Well, sure. Thank you for your question, Mr. Chair. I'll bring it back just with a little bit of history of the work that I've done over the past, since 1988. I've been out in the field, I've been a field superintendent, and from that I became an instructor in 1998, and then a training director for Local 1 bricklayers and allied craft workers. And at that time, they also have done a pre-job training. It was 12 weeks at that time. Great program. They still run it today. And then after I left that position, I became the state program administrator for Apprenticeship Minnesota. And you got to see other initiatives that provide workforce development and training for people go into all different sorts of industries. And over the past 2 decades, I think what Building Strong Communities does is it takes all of those elements that have been learned, all those lessons learned the successes, the things that weren't the challenges, and has designed a program with all of the best practices of all those programs and put them into one. And so what we really take pride in is our retention of the people that come through the program, and that we maintain those relationships with each of the individuals as they journey through their career as registered apprentices. And that continuous contact with them and support for their journey from individuals like myself who have experience in the industry just helps them, assists them, gives them an additional tool to resource to look back on and ask for assistance or support or just encouragement.
Okay. I may need to understand that better at another time. I won't belabor it now, but I maybe will ask you and Representative Berg to follow up, just sort of understanding how this program fits in the ecosystem of other programs, especially given the idea that, we're potentially, rather than choosing individual organizations, we're trying to really solve an issue of getting folks in these communities into the construction trades, lots of different ways to do that. And so just understanding how this program fits in with others, but we can continue the conversation. Anything else from members at all? I am not seeing any hands. So Representative Berg, we'll give you the chance to have final comments on your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think just, a short response to your question.
Yeah.
We do have other programs that are targeting, I guess, some of the same people as this program, veterans, women, et cetera. And I think that that's okay, because I think we're wrapping our arms around a group of people that have been traditionally left out, and coming at it from various different ways is just a great thing, because we're providing opportunity for success. What I heard today from the testifiers is they came here, they shared some very difficult parts of their own stories, and the fact that those could have been barriers for them to find success, but instead they weren't, because they found this program, they had personal follow-up and accountability and support. And now, Natalie is earning a living wage, supporting her son, getting health care, building a pension at what appears to be a very young age to me. And I think that's exciting, and I think it speaks to why this program works and why it's important that we fund this. So I just want to thank the testifiers who came here and spoke to a room of strangers about some very difficult times in their life, and then showed us how it can be turned around. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Well said, Representative Berg. Thank you so much to the testifiers. Thank you to you, Representative Berg. And with that, the chair lays over House File 1216 for possible inclusion in a future budget bill.